As a child, my world was forever changed. My mother was magnificent. And he took it all from me.
Who do we have here?
Remember me?
There are some films that you never forget the first time you watch them, and Mad Max Fury Road was definitely one of them for me, but more than Tom Hardy's eponymous hero Max Rokatansky. The character that remained from this film was Furiosa, played by Charlize Theron, and automatically catapulted the character into the pantheon of action heroes. And surely there are a lot of things to marvel at from Fury Road, a film that not only makes you wonder how it was made, where all the action we see is completely real with minimal digital interventions, but also raised the bar extremely high for all subsequent films containing vehicles, races and chases. The script for the new film that focuses on the character of Furiosa, as well as the accompanying storyboards, had already been written when production on Fury Road began, but the process to make new movies in the Mad Max universe was particularly complicated, and it took almost 30 years to see Fury Road, and another 9 to release Furiosa from 1985 and beyond Thunderdome. But these two films are very different. And yes, Fury Road outlines a well-developed world, has characters with strong dynamics and is really unbridled in terms of action, but if we look at it pragmatically, the story it tells is very simple and the characters, in 2.5 days, they go from point A to point B in a chase and back to point A in a race. On the contrary, in Furiosa we follow a story that unfolds over 16 years, and we follow the heroine from the age of 10 to the age of 26, with the events reaching the beginning of Fury Road. In this film we learned through narration the backstory of Furiosa and her abduction from the Green Place, but now we get to see all this firsthand. The dialogue also has an epic element to it, as opposed to Fury Road's taciturn heroes and significant character development. What hasn't changed though is the storming action. Anya Taylor-Joy, 28 years old, plays the younger version of Charlize Theron's Furiosa. She was handpicked by director George Miller after seeing her in Edgar Wright's Last Night in Soho, and we follow her as she takes on the warlords Dementus and Immortan Joe. In the role of Dementus we find Chris Hemsworth, who instructed his agent that he must definitely work with George Miller after seeing Fury Road. And the role of Immortan Joe is played here by Lachu Hulme, taking over from Hugh Keys-Byrne, who died in 2020. An important character in the film is also Praetorian Jack, played by English actor Tom Burke, while Nathan Jones returns as Rictus Erectus and Angus Sampson as the Organic Mechanic. However, the big question that we all surely have is how does Furiosa stand against its predecessor? And the answer is pretty good, but not perfectly. The film has many moments of delight hidden in imaginative details. It sheds light on many elements we saw in Fury Road, such as Furiosa's prosthetic arm. It more substantively explores a number of locations such as the Citadel and Gastown, but there is one very important difference. While Fury Road was a huge chase where the action and the dialogue unfolded side by side, in Furiosa we watch a more developed story, where the action is more sporadic and sometimes more layered than what we've known, while we also see scenes of torture and aerial fights. Furiosa's character is more ambitious here and takes on a mythological dimension. What is definitely not missing is the madness. Dementus, as the name suggests, is an evil paranoid, while there are also slick characters like the History Man, who throws information and word definitions. There's also a character called Peace Boy, while we also see Rictus Erectus' brother with the equally wonderful name of Scrotus. As a character, Dementus hits high levels of sadism, yet Chris Hemsworth manages to be neither menacing enough nor funny enough as the script dictates, and Furiosa's ending gives a superficial impression. The film is divided into 5 chapters. Be aware that Anya Taylor-Joy shows up after the first hour, but that shouldn't put you off because Alyla Browne, who plays the character as a child, is great in her role and gives her a great introduction. And it's very important because George Miller basically tells you how Furiosa went from a pure girl to a tough woman. One thing that might disappoint is that the use of VFX here is much more intense and takes away points from the impressiveness part. But I think that these are not good enough to make Furiosa lose in terms of entertainment. George Miller clearly prefers to invest in content other than simply repeating the style of Fury Road. And let's not kid ourselves, it's one of the best action movies out there right now, let alone a prequel. And it's definitely a great piece of cinematography.